Hello, my name is Charlie. Welcome to my space. Thank you for joining me. So, I was thinking about this reading, I was thinking about the cycles. I wanted a title in the words came to me, come what may. Just have a look. I didn't watch back the last video, so we're just going to focus on the light on the top of my laptop. We'll try that. Okay, let's pull a rune so we can sort of get a theme, get a feel. Okay, well, we got through. Dagaz, Sawillo, Bakama. I read out all these words last time and I didn't like that, so I'm just going to pick the ones that stick out. Because that's my bag. Breakthrough, awareness. Time to plan or embark upon an enterprise. Me and you and you and me. Success, honor, health. A time when power will be available to you for positive changes in your life. Success, success, success. Say it with me now. Success. Okay. Ooh, general fertility, personal growth, liberation, regenerative power, and light of spring, new growth. Yes. Let's go. The daffodil bulbs are already in. Do you know what I'm saying? Some of the earliest flowers of spring, they're in now. Okay. The growth is not just about the flower, nor the stem, it is the roots. Yes. Okay. I like this. So a lot of things working behind the scenes. So the work that you're doing on the surface level is having bigger ripple effects than you're aware. It is outside of your periphery. This is where faith comes in, and trust and knowing. All of those exciting things. So happy about that. Let's go. Let's shuffle. I'm feeling good. Feeling vibing. Let's see if someone comes into the live stream today, and let's not panic. Let's go. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, 6. Ooh, that's a lot of major arcana. Okay. 6 of Cups, the Hermit, the Fool, the Chariot. I personally would like to work towards more of reading the message and less of reading the cards. If you are a reader of any kind, you will know what that means. So you're looking to find what you're actually connected to, and you've done a lot of inner healing work to move through your childhood trauma and understand more of what your childhood was actually like. So when you have a great deal of trauma from your childhood, which I think a lot of us need to get comfortable. Let's cozy in here a little bit. Damn. Okay. When you have a lot of childhood trauma, which many sensitive people do, especially the empaths, things get blocked out. You aren't able to remember a lot of your childhood, and especially not the negatives, because it's almost like blocked off by those negative memories. You try and get there, your subconscious protects you, it repels you back out until it feels like you're actually mature enough to actually get in there and have a good look, which is fair, totally fine. But now you're in a space of you're in a space of a higher level of emotional maturity and a higher level of intellectual understanding. So it's actually safer for you to go to those places and revisit the whimsy of being a child as opposed to just the pain, which is beautiful, beautiful. This is the power available for positive changes. It's all in there. The awakening and the liberation. Okay. Some of you could be doing like EMDR. It reminds me of that, which if you're not familiar, it's a form of trauma therapy where you can basically you're taking the bullet out of pew pew. I don't think you can say that word on YouTube. Yeah, you're taking the round out of the chamber, if you know what I mean. It no longer has that that charge is the word that I'd use, and you can reprogram that the way that you see it. Beautiful thing, beautiful thing. And I feel like you've been doing that reverse engineered. You're changing your relationship with your past, and in changing your relationship to it, you're able to release some of the heavier, less beneficial feelings and energies around it. So in doing that, you can see more of the light-hearted stuff. You can see more of the things that bring you joy, more of the things that were natural for you as a child to be curious about and be passionate about, interested in. Absolutely beautiful. When you do that, you gain a fresher understanding of yourself, right? And it propels you forwards because now you've got a different type of fuel for the vehicle. If you haven't watched the previous videos, they all somewhat relate to this. I'm still very early in my creation of videos. It's still early in my career, so a lot of these tarot readings are linking onto cycles that I've been through recently because that's what I can best talk about. Those are the cycles that are fresh in my mind, and I can sort of speak from experience as I'm experiencing it and get the messages from soul to, like, what is the actual best way through this? What is the reality of what is happening here? And a recent one has been like almost it appears as a stagnant period. Like, bear in mind those ripples out of the periphery we were talking about. It appears to be excuse me, it appears to be a stagnant period because you're no longer motivated by the things that used to motivate you. You're not motivated by shame. You're not motivated by self-loathing. You're now motivated by curiosity, by a genuine interest in your purpose. You're now motivated by your intuitive callings, if you will. And initially that doesn't quite do it for you. Do you know what I mean? I'm definitely in this space of like, so I'm really not going to be punished if I don't do this? And like almost holding on to see, like, really? Like waiting for the other shoe to drop, and it's simply not going to drop. You're kind of just being welcomed into this process with open arms. Do you know what I mean? You've got the hermit here, and he's standing there with his arms out. And usually this card is about introspection and knowing yourself better, but I also feel like in this case it's talking about soul connection. And I feel like your soul is just trying to welcome you into your light. It's not something you've previously been able to recognize. He's looking at these dark flowers, and the light, the sun, is all behind him. So I feel like maybe you've been through a period of like very intense grief for yourself. It's been a major revisiting of a lot of the traumatic injuries that you have sustained and how they've affected you. And it's still been very painful to face, but you're facing it from like a much higher level. You're facing it from a level where you can hold yourself within yourself without needing to reject it. Do you see what I'm saying? Regardless, it helps you on towards your higher calling. Right, and that is ultimately what this is about. You are now processing your human experience and understanding what it could mean on a level of divine calling, on a level of soul healing, I suppose. I think it's getting to know your soul better. And right, I feel like just speaking about this with my husband, I really feel like the relationship between parent and child can be very similar to the relationship between human and soul, right? So my job as a parent is to hold this boundary around my child. Whatever reaction my child chooses to have to these boundaries is completely acceptable. It's not a problem. Truly, my job is to help regulate you, help get you through it, because ultimately the boundary is not going to change. It will over time, of course, but it's not going to change just because you want to test it. There are consequences for trying that boundary, but they are fair and proportionate to what it is you're trying to do. So, as a parent, you also have to hold that boundary between yourself and the child. The child is not allowed to harm you. You're not allowed to hit me. That's just what it is, and there's a consequence for that. And sometimes the best thing you can do is just hold them back from you, like just push them back a little, not shove, do you know what I mean? But ever so slightly remove them from your space. And if they approach again, totally fine. Totally fine. If you hit me again, you're going to move back. If you then ask for a cuddle and that type of contact, no problem. Do you know what I mean? And I feel like you've been having this relationship with your soul, where if you were allowed greater boundaries and greater access to your potential and to your soul, you would be approaching it in a way that could be harmful, that could be detrimental to both you, your journey, and your soul. That's not both. That's all off. So until you've gone through this process, to be able to have some amount of self-acceptance and self-forgiveness, and to really truly learn grace and compassion through struggle. Right? It's easy to give grace and compassion when you're on a peak. Do you know what I mean? But what about when you're trough? What about when it's difficult? What about when the going gets tough? Can you still offer yourself grace, understanding, and passion? Passion. Okay. Can you still offer yourself those qualities when you do not feel well, when you do not feel like you're doing well? Is your love for yourself conditional? Because if it is, you are going to take everything more that your soul has to offer you from a place of ego instead from a place of heart. Do you know what I mean? And I now feel like you are actually ready to take things to heart and from heart. And because of that, it's a time to embark upon an enterprise, right? You're allowed to progress in your journey. And I feel like that's what's happening behind the scenes. Things are ticking into place outside of your awareness. I'm sure many people have experienced this when it's just like, how the f is this going to work? Like, I don't understand. And all of a sudden, the divine just lines things up in such a way where it's like, I could have never predicted any of that. I could have never predicted any of that. Like, how did you line that up? That's so complex. It's completely beyond your comprehension and understanding, because ultimately you are here as a human. It's not your job to worry about all those things. It's not your job to plan all of those things. It's just your job to pick the direction and trust that everything else will support and align with that. Do you know what I mean? So you're now being allowed greater access to higher places, higher forms of guidance. It's just whether or not and how quickly you're going to choose to accept and embody those things, right? I read a quote ages ago. I do not know who said it, but it was something about how your lifestyle must bend to your spiritual path, because your spiritual path will not bend to your lifestyle. If you know that you are of a higher calling and you are doing things that are detrimental to that, you just cannot get any further. Do you know what I mean? Like my example, is my whole deck flipped? No, just these three. I don't like reverses, man. I don't like reading them. I'll take them, but I don't like that. Oh, is this the alternative? Is this what happens if we, yes, I know I'm included. What the fuck does that mean? I actually don't know that one. 10 of Wands reversed. 10 of Wands reversed. Yeah. A release from a burden, a potential end to prolonged struggle, a moment of exhaustion or burnout where you must let go of overwhelming responsibilities to recover. That I can understand. So, if you choose to stay in the lifestyle that you're in, the one that does not support this higher calling of yours, if you give up authority over your life, it's unfortunately just going to cripple you. The further you get into your alignment, the more of your how do I explain this? This is just my opinion, right? This is my perception of the mechanics. Feels like the wrong word. This is my perception of the circumstance, right? The further and further you, let me not, the further and further you move away from your soul's truth and therefore from your heart, the further and further away that you move from that, the less your soul can actually access you and help you. So if you completely choose to abandon that in favor of just whatever the fuck, it's going to cripple you because you're no longer allowing yourself support. So that's what this Ten of Wands in reverse is. It's about just being absolutely crushed by the things that are not in alignment for you. It's a really handy way to know whether or not you are in alignment is, are you in pain or are you suffering? Because pain is a necessary part of the process, but suffering really isn't. And that's the boundary. Do you know what I mean? Like, this is the consequence. You should not be going this way. It's going to be upsetting. It's going to hurt. Like, don't fucking touch the hot oven. God damn. But if while I've got my back, because I'm looking over here, doing things you cannot comprehend, you touch the fucking oven, it's just gonna hurt. You know, I'm not angry at you. I don't need to punish you. You've already kind of punished yourself in making that choice. And people are curious. They need to learn their own way, and that's totally fine. You know, children are exactly like that. But at the same time, it's not necessary. You know better. So just be better. You're allowed. There's so much of this that comes. Okay, that's what I was going to say. So much of it just comes down to choice and executing personal will, being motivated to move with purpose intentionally. It's not just something you stumble upon, it's you realize that this is your higher calling and you intentionally move towards that purpose and follow the guidance of soul. And the more that you develop that relationship, the stronger it gets and the quicker things move, ideally. Right. I don't want to be vulnerable. I will be vulnerable. I have quit all kinds of everything. Let's put it that way. Good and bad. The bad ones are what we'll focus on. The example I will give is smoking. Right? I have quit smoking before. And among other things, one truth remains the same. The hardest part is not the coping with it, it's actually the decision. You know, it's actually making the decision and doing the first hour, the first fucking minute, quite frankly. Once you have made the decision and you have the no or the yes, in this case, it's a no. It's no. And the first time you have truly, fucking all the way to your core, made that choice, that is the hardest part, I would argue. And I've quit all sorts of things, and that has always been the case. That first initial no and feeling the resonance and the gravity of it, that is not an easy thing to do. I would argue it's the hardest part. It's not the thinking it through, it's not the planning, it's not the worrying, it's not all this game, you know. It's the first decisive, intentional, purposeful action boundary that you set and move with. That's the most powerful one. You've got that, you're done. That you're good after that point, basically. Like, yeah, it comes up again, but the strength of that no only accumulates once you've truly made the decision and you've truly done that first no, the first minute. You're good. You're good. You're done. It's no biggie. Like I tried for years to stop smoking. Years, motherfucker. Sorry. Dropped my mask a little too much there. I threw myself off. Right, we come back. It's alright. Yeah. After the first 2 weeks, I mean, even after the first week, the mode didn't even have to be that strong. It was just like a stop. It's so naughty. Stop it. I'm not even bothered anymore. And after 2 weeks, it was like, I can't believe how fucking easy this was. I cannot believe how easy this actually was. Like, really? I wrestled with this for years. In 2 weeks, you're fine. Like, damn. So it's that initial decision that's the really difficult one. But once you have it, you step with it. That first fucking step you take is absolutely beautiful. And I this is going to be more like intuitive read, more than tarot read, right? And a culmination of my recent lessons. And if you don't care for that, fuck off. If you do care for that, please come back. Regardless. I threw myself off again. That's all right. Bring it back. I saw 2121. What's that about? Sacred Scribes. Let's go, Joanne. Oh yeah, this is the one about like I'm fucking breaking chains, breaking free, and breaking chains. You are not chained. Hot take, but you're not chained at all. The thing is chained, right? So smoking is a good example. I'm going to use it again. I kept thinking I'm fucking chained to smoking. I'm chained to it. How do I fucking break these chains? Ugh. No, the cigarette is chained in one particular place, right? I'm quite a heavy smoker, so I'm like roughly every 45 minutes, something like that. I walk 45 minutes up the road and I walk straight back. I walk 45 minutes up the road and I walk straight back. My goal is over here. It's way over fucking here. I walk 45 minutes and I walk straight back. This will not move. And as long as I keep walking back to it, nor will I. But I'm not chained in this position. Only this is. Do you see what I'm saying? You know? Like, I could walk over here. Absolutely. Actually, this reminds me of something really sad. It reminds me of like the elephants or the animals that have like been chained to like a post with only like a little radius, and even once they're set free and they're not chained anymore, they just like walk in that fucking radius for ages. It's really sad. You're doing exactly that. I'm doing it too, so we're in it together. Let's just have a pity party just for a minute, you know. I hope those elephants figure it out eventually. I hope they can be like coaxed with joy and like tasty things. It's come on, can't get this thing or it's so bad. Like build that positive, good relationship with someone that knows something they don't. In this case, your soul. Like build that positive relationship and just like take the first step. God fucking damn it! And then they'll know. They'll see it. So 23. I like that one more. That's the relationship your soul is having with you right now. It's like, look, I will give you all of this. You can have all of this. You can have all of this. Just take a step. But that one step won't be sufficient. You've got to take a few steps. Take a few steps. Come on. I will give you all of them things. And you can do it. I 100% believe that you can do that. You can achieve that. I have a card here and I don't know what it means. I feel like it's about to come into play. Right now it's the Seven of Pentacles in reverse. Like I said, I usually do not read reversals, but there's 3 cards in my deck upside down, and it's these 3. Your current efforts may not be yielding the desired results. You need to evaluate your strategies, priorities, and resource allocation. This is what I'm talking about with your spiritual path will never bend to your lifestyle. Right, it just won't. If you don't know what I mean by that, comment and I'll do a longer video about it. How about that? Oh, getting naughty now. Let's never say that again. Let's never say that again. So you're being coaxed out of your comfort zone. Creativity. This is 2323 that jumped out to me. Creativity, manifestation, directing energy and encouraging you to express your personal freedom. So what is it you actually want for yourself? How do you want to feel in you? What is it you want from yourself? How is it you want to feel within yourself? And how can you achieve that result? What is the gap between where you are and where this is? What are the bite-sized chunks? Close the gap. There you go. There's your path. But what if this and what if that and what is that? You'll know when you get there. You'll know when you get there. Stop doing that. Stop fucking doing that. You're over-analyzing a process that is meant to be experienced, not thought about. Okay. I'm not saying fucking run into a pothole. Let's use our discernment here. But I think you're smart enough to know what I mean. This is beautiful. This is absolutely fucking beautiful. We don't need this. We're not doing this. Well, we are doing this, but we're not going to stay doing it. Okay? We're going to be happy elephants. Be happy elephants on our journey to exploring completely new terrain, being happily guided by seen and unseen forces. Elephants are also wise as fuck and hold grudges, so you know what's what. You know what's what. There's reason to celebrate. There's reason to be joyful. That's great. That's great. I keep seeing the image of you being able to hold a smaller version of yourself, listen to that person, listen to that direction, and instead of being that really critical or anxious is more what comes to mind. Critical, anxious parents whispering, but you haven't thought about this, you haven't thought about that, and you can understand, you're so immature. It's instead of all of this narrative, this dialogue, you're holding that little person, you're able to say yeah, I really like that idea. That's really cool. Let's see how we can make that happen. Let's move in that direction, at least. And supporting that. No, I'm not using that word. And supporting that. Excuse me. Supporting that energy and being able to express itself and being able to come out. Is the inner child the ruler of the heart space? I don't fucking know. I don't know. I'm not going to Google it either because... Calm down. That's what it means. Sorry, that was crazy eyes. The title, Come What May. I wonder what that shit was about. I didn't know. Come what may. So you're able to hold yourself in such a way that it's come what may. We're going to have a problem. Great. We can find a solution. We're capable of solution finding. It's but there's going to be a setback. So we're fine with managing setbacks. What if I get tired? It's well, I actually know the things that recharge me and refuel me really well. And I know I'm allowed to rest now. But what if more trauma comes up? And it's well, I know how to handle it in a way that's appropriate and responsible and well-timed, and I trust that I have the fortitude for that. You can hold all of these worries, anxieties, and traumas, but they don't contain you anymore. You are containing them in an expansive way. You still have more space. You have room for trust and faith and creativity and purpose. Beautiful purpose. Beautiful purpose. I feel like this was a really good reading. I feel like this was great. I'm really happy with that one, actually. So I will say no more. I've got other things to do. So that's good. That was good. I like that. No one's fucking here, but we'll see. Yeah, if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. Don't know, comment, subscribe, There's still no links. So close, so close. It's literally the Facebook profile that needs to be set up. And then we're in. The TikTok and Instagram are already ready, but I'd rather like just put them all in at once. Do you know what I mean? That's not the right way up. So funny. So funny. Hard work's coming in. Love it. Love it. Yeah. Soon I'll be able to show in a public way some of my products. Will be very exciting. They're nearly ready. Yeah. Cool. So, I don't know. I probably just should have ended this. I'm pretty committed to putting all my cards away now. So, join me. When the links are done, the next one's going to be the website. It's going to be scary. Yay. Trust in soul is so weird. Do you know what I mean? It's like there's still a part in my mind that's like, how the f is this going to work? Like, who are you even talking about? And my soul is like, just do it. Just do it. Trust me. And it's like, what if I don't? And it's like, you will. You will. You're going to. Because, like, you have an obligation. I'm not going to force you, but you are going to do it. Like, oh. All right. Oh, isn't that nice? Hey. Reliability. Ooh. I'm done. Okay. Good night. Thank you for joining me.